come back if you had, you gave a chance to come back. To finally come back.
When you're in the glory,
Come back.
yes.
I'm not sure how that ain't fine. That's a good Three days, one for 4 days, just amazing.
Did they close because of cold it was? Or?
No, shelter that never told me the stays open 24/7, so they never close in the court. So you know, we did the Alabama division.
Yeah.
So that's Richard and because it's been done. If it was nominated for, I think it was, I mean, yeah.
Really?
Crazy.
We know what the heat's on. You might know what the heat is on. It feels like it's about 80 in here.
No, I think they said something about 60 or something like that. Never made it seem.
I got some.
Somebody I read earlier.
Rolls in the kitchen.
They were mad at the, what you call that thing? Groundhog.
No, I didn't even see what they supposedly claiming.
See, they're like,
Multiple hurricanes. Too cold. It's apparently bingo card.
It's a what?
A bingo card. It's not a good one. A bingo. Now that you say that, I see it now.
oh, you see that?
It's the same people during the election. Some people just don't have full-time jobs.
I'm not on social media, so I don't see anything. Someone saying, it was like, they got you sitting there like a little spirit.
Oh, I was, Keith gonna talk to me about it. 'Cause I asked him about it today. He said something about him out there getting the bug out or something. Because they was straight. I don't know what's on the picture yet. There's a picture over there. They don't look like a picture.
I just come right by it.
He said he had your nose in there. He's supposed to talk about it.
All right, everyone, 6 p.m. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting, work session to order. If, we'll go ahead and, I'll start with just letting everybody know that tonight's work session is going to be very focused and efficient, and the purpose is just a discussion and direction of these agenda items, and any action here is just, if this is just discussion, it's not taking action during the work session. And so, first on our, the agenda is the proclamation for Austin Stone. So, Austin, if you'll come up, I'll just mention that Austin basically has worked to preserve Margaret's history in book form, and he's worked very diligently to make sure it's documented, accurate, and accessible, and for future generations. And all that work matters, and it means something. And so communities don't really move forward if they don't know where they came from. And he's really putting a lot of effort to like highlight Margaret and what's built Margaret and where we came from. And so the proclamation we're about to present him recognizes the contribution and thanks him for serving in that lasting public record in our city. If you will, I'll do the presentation and then we'll have the conversation.
Okay. I'm gonna try to keep things brief and not hold up any city business. I'm just gonna introduce my book. It's The Ghost of an Empire, the history of the Alabama Fuel and Iron Company in St. Clair County. And I choose the word empire because Margaret and Akmar were once the largest coal producers in the state of Alabama. There was over 38 million tons of coal that would be extracted from the property here. The lands were originally purchased in 1902 by the Central Georgia Railway to produce a refueling hub near Birmingham as the line went from Atlanta to Birmingham. The legendary industrialist Henry de Bardeleben founded at Margaret in 1905. The mines would extend to include 12 coal mines with 17 mines at Akmar and 12 at Margaret. At peak in 1937, the company had over 6,500 employees. And most historically significant, the towns Margaret and Akmar were notorious for remaining as the only major coal company to never allow any contract or recognition with United Mine Workers of America. The Alabama Fuel and Iron Company was called the Alamo of the organized labor movement in the 20th century. The bloody and violent decades-long struggle culminated in 1935 in October in the Battle of Margaret and the Battle of Whitechapel. And the Battle of Margaret was just up the street here by the gas station. There was multiple men wounded and 1 man dead, and it sparked several grand jury investigations in St. Clair County and even a federal intervention. The company would become extremely significant during World War II as a coal producer for the war effort. The company would produce over 1 million tons of coal for the United States every year during the war. Following the war, the coal industry took a sharp decline, and the advent of diesel locomotives replacing steam engines effectively killed the Alabama Fuel and Iron Company, and the firm shut down in 1950. The Ghost of an Empire will be available on March 31st, and pre-orders are available now at americathroughtime.com, and I passed out a little piece of paper to help people find it online. And I sincerely hope that everyone that buys a copy enjoys it, and I want to thank all of you for having me here, and thank you for this proclamation. Thank you.
Thank you. So Austin's investment proves that, community means a lot to every city and every municipality. And so, I want to take this time to actually mention that as a city, we need that involvement. We need the community input and the community's expertise in certain areas. And so I'm officially launching 3 new advisory bodies to the city. The Margaret Historical Society, intended to preserve, document, and promote history of our community, support the heritage and related projects, including projects like Austin's. A finance committee to help provide budget oversight, review financial practices, and support long-range fiscal planning in an advisory capacity. And a Parks and Recreation Board to advise the mayor and council on park safety, maintenance improvements, and recreational programming. Each of these bodies just operate in an advisory role and will have clear bylaws and include citizens from a diverse background. And there will be open call participation starting tonight. And any appointments will be made and brought to the council and confirmed before the appointments. So, moving right along, we have an agenda item about a theft accusation. So there was a accusation presented at the last council meeting and again after. It's being tabled pending a formal presentation of evidence or public retraction and apology. So until one of these occurs, this body won't debate accusations from the floor, but will proceed professionally based on facts and evidence. I'm removing the special investigator from the agenda this time, so no action will be taken on that item at this time. On the smoking ordinance, council should have a draft of the no smoking ordinance before everyone, and, so please review the language in your packet. We'll take note of any questions and any questions or visions that y'all might have, so for presentation at a later meeting. Does anybody have any, issues with the smoking ordinance? Being that it's an ordinance, at the next meeting, we will have a public hearing for this ordinance for any public input or concerns. Okay, nothing to be said, we'll move on. You've got the sign ordinance in front of you. Again, tonight it's just for discussion. Keith Hager put this together for us about 2 years ago. And I personally only see one small shortfall, and it needs a permit fee for larger signs that are in rights of way that we maintain. So as a city, if we have to maintain and cut around a sign, then there should be some permit there to cover the cost of having to do extra work to work with these signs. But besides that, anybody else have anything else that they would like to see, or any questions or concerns about the sign ordinance? Okay. If there's nothing, we'll move right along. Yes. So, we're gonna move on to the regular agenda items. These are pretty straightforward and should be in everybody's packet. If there's any questions, now's the time to ask. And we'll handle them by motion during the regular meeting. So we'll start with the mutual aid agreement with Odenville Fire. This is long overdue and it should have been in place a long time ago. And so, Samantha, would you like to speak to it?
And so, mutual aid agreement with, Margaret and Odenville means that obviously there's a structure fire. Odenville's coming to help us out. I mean, I think everybody can agree it's a pretty good thing. And I think I've talked with Chief Davis previously and mentioned it to our chief that in the event that RPS will be out for an extended amount of time, say they're, on the other side of Gadsden and we've got a patient with a medical call, it is possible that we can call for Odenville to come and help us until we become ALS certified ourselves, which I can let Chief Thomas touch on that, but he's hoping April 1st is we're going live, so we will be ALS certified then, meaning that we will be able to actually help, when someone calls 911. So mutual aid is automatic aid. It's a house fire. They'll go ahead and call out Odenville to come be with us so we can try to reduce as much loss as possible to make sure everybody's good to go. But there will be training required from both, for Margaret, they will have to train with Odenville Fire Department at least 4 times a year, so that when everybody's on scene, everybody knows what's going on and what to do, from that point forward. So that is our mutual aid agreement that I think has been long overdue and necessary for quite some time, but now we have it.
So, to kind of clarify, so we can always call for help
Yes.
anytime.
Yes.
The auto aid agreement we're talking about, when it's a confirmed fire or a suspected fire, they will automatically dispatch Odenville with us to
Yes.
that scene instead of us having to request them. It cuts down time
Response,
tremendously.
yes.
Thank you. All right, moving right along, we've got the Odenville Chamber of Commerce topic. Everyone should have the numbers for the different levels of membership. So we have the different levels of membership for the Odenville Chamber of Commerce. The basic business is $100, basic nonprofit $75, membership basic $50, but really they're looking for us to be more of a corporate sponsor, so something to the nature around either 500 or 22,000, I believe. Odenville gives 1,500, but I need to go back and double check that. And so during the council, we'll look for a motion to determine if we would like to become members of the Odenville Chamber of Commerce. And it's the Greater Odenville Chamber of Commerce. Next, we have the St. Clair County Educational Foundation. I may need some batteries. I'm going to ask Mr. Greg to come up and actually speak to, we got the topics mixed up from the last meeting where he was going to speak about his canvassing, but he'll also speak to us about his the Education Foundation Gala as well. So if you come up, please, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It's good to be here with you. It's great to speak in front of people that I know every one of you, and it makes it easy to do. I'm Dr. Greg Cobb, and I'm the current president of the St. Clair County Educational Foundation. And what we do is we pump money into classrooms. We have a grant opening every year, and every year teachers have different needs. They have a different group of kids, and sometimes they can't anticipate what their needs are going to be. So we provide opportunities for teachers to write grants and ask for items that would make their classroom much more successful that year. So we decided to put on a gala every year. This is our second gala. Last year we raised right under $30,000. This year we're already above $30,000, and we haven't even gotten to the gala, to the auction. So we already know that we're going to supersede what we did last year. Other communities have sponsored some tables. Some communities have just given a donation, and that is fine. All we're asking for is just a partnership with you guys. There's not a grant cycle that's gone by that several Margaret teachers haven't won grants. And I don't think I have to tell you how wonderful your school is at Margaret. It's one of the best, I believe, in St. Clair County. That's the part about the gala. We would love to have you there. It's February the 14th. It's on Valentine's Day. So get yourself dressed up and bring someone special to the gala at Homestead Holla, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Music, dancing, silent auction. It's already opened. So, any questions about the gala?
The basic price for the, can you go over the basic prices for the?
Yeah. Most of the communities some of them have been doing a $1,500 table, which allows for 8 people, and I'm gonna say or more if you like it. But 8 people. We sat 10 last year around the tables, and they were a little bit uncomfortable. So, but if you want a Margaret table, we will make it happen. We've had communities do a $1,000 donation to the grants, and we've had a community also give $500 to the grants. So either way, we'll make sure that you're listed as a sponsor. For anything under the $1,500 table, we're listing as grant sponsors. So we'll just make sure that everybody knows that you guys gave that, whatever you choose to give. So, any other questions? And if you'd like to come individually, you can still get tickets. They're $100 a piece, and we'd love to have you. And it's just going to be a good night. It was a great night last year. It's going to be a good night this year. So, great calls too.
Would you like to take this time to discuss your candidacy?
Yes. So the second thing I want to talk to you about, and I'm going to turn around just for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where's the young man that wrote the book? My grandparents were the Glidewells and the Barkers and the Browns, and they were both my great-grandfather and my grandfather were miners here in Margaret. My great-grandfather owned a store, and my great-grandmother ran basically she cooked out of her home for the miners. And my great-grandfather ran a bus from Birmingham to Margaret every day during that time. So I have all the mining, I have his old miner light and everything at home. So just wanted to kind of let you know that my heart went out when I saw him get up. I can't wait to get his book. I'm going to go home tonight and I'm going to order it. So, but that leads me to my next cause is my grandfather on my dad's side was a 1942 graduate of St. Clair County High School. My mom and dad were both 1965 graduates of St. Clair County High School. I was a proud graduate of 1989 from St. Clair County High School, and my son was a proud graduate of 2011 in St. Clair County High School. So my roots run deep in Odenville and Margaret, as you can tell, from both sides of my family. And what I'm asking is the opportunity to represent you on the St. Clair County Board of Education. The reason I feel like I'm qualified is because I hold a doctorate in education leadership and policy and law. And I also have 30 years of education experience in the field. I was federal programs coordinator for St. Clair County Schools, and I took St. Clair County Schools from No Child Left Behind to the current federal law of ESSA. So I had to change all of the policies. So I understand the federal laws, I understand the state laws, and I understand the local laws. But let me tell you what I think a board member is. Let me define that for you. I feel like a board member is a liaison between the city councils, the people of Margaret and Odenville, and the school board and superintendent. I believe this person that is your board representative should be in your schools, should be in Margaret Elementary School, listening to the needs of the teachers and the principals. I feel like I should be there boosting morale. I should be the one that's the cheerleader for your school. I should be out there talking about how good your schools are, not necessarily the things that we've got to work on. Many of us know the things we need to work on, but we've got to pull together and make sure that our Margaret and our Odenville schools are the very best that they can possibly be. I'm a term limits person, so I'm going to stand here before you and tell you I will not run for more than 2 terms. So that's just the way I feel. I feel like if you're in office too long, sometimes things get stale. And that's not saying that if any of you have been on the board on this for a long time, I applaud you. Thank you for your service. It's just that I feel like sometimes fresh ideas need to be coveted, and so I would like to be that person. And I feel like I have the education and the experience to bring forth great leadership. So do you have any questions for me about that? If anyone would like my card, it's got my website information on it. I'll have them and I'll stay for the end.
Thank you very much, Greg. We really appreciate your service. All right. So, all right. Next up, we're going to circle back to the donation of to the elementary school for the smart boards. Council was sent the quote for the smart boards back on January 9th, but we're just going to bring them up back now. They're, again, $18.75 a piece. I believe it'd be good for us to donate the same number we discussed last time, and again, we'll contribute to out of my community funds. So we'll bring this back.
What was
bring
that
this,
total number? I think that's the thing we didn't have last time was the total.
13,125 for the total. 3,000 of that coming out of my funds, and be 10,125 coming out of the already budgeted funds for the education.
13,125.
All right. Any other questions, concerns? All right. We'll move right along to the public works vehicle and trailer. And Todd, I'm going to ask if you'll come up and discuss the vehicles and the need.
So last council meeting, I gave y'all some last minute papers, but one of them's wrong. The actual price for the truck for the 2,500 is no longer good. They sold that Saturday. So we'll have to go back to the actual state bid price. But the reason for needing these trucks are we bought new equipment. It's heavy. Like today, some guys were out patching, some were fixing a water leak. We had to, make it work because we had to carry some equipment to Brookhaven to fix a water leak, and then use our old patch trailer to not use the new equipment because we didn't have no way to haul it around. So doing this, we'll have another bigger truck to haul our equipment around for the public works side. That way there's one for each side, and also with the trailer, it'll give us another piece of equipment to use for both sides, whether it's hauling machinery, gravel, dirt, whatever we need it for.
Yeah, along with the splitting of the departments, it's obviously we're staffing up, and those staff are gonna need vehicles, and,
Well,
and so this is just the start of building out that department that was requested on, Christmas Eve, or New Year's Eve.
it's just a start, that way, you know, each department has their own vehicles, and it's just a good start, that way, we're not fighting over vehicles when stuff needs to get done.
Any questions or concerns about the, vehicle bids you have before you?
Yeah, what all vehicles have we bought for Public Works, do you know? We've asked the mayor several times and he still hasn't
Just the
given us
truck,
any information.
the one we ordered in December,
Mhm.
the F-150 we bought the other day, just those two.
Yep, I compiled that, I just didn't get it out. What's the ETA on your truck, Todd?
I don't know,
Don't know?
they said 60 to 90 days.
All right, any other questions, or concerns about the, Public Works trailer you have in front of you? All right. Moving right along, thank you, Todd. We've got the ALM annual conference. State law requires this now. I just want to get a public head count of how many people want to be registered so that we can sign everybody up. It'll be in Montgomery, and so just, I guess, who all is interested? I'm going to go.
When'd you say this was?
Just like the same one we went to up in Huntsville.
Yes, they shift up a little bit every time, and there's different classes and different topics, so that you can get the training in different areas. But let's see, I believe you should all be registered for the ALM emails and have begun the emails. But the conference is in April 28th to May 1st in Montgomery. Anybody else? Everyone who's interested, just need to know so we can.
I think everybody's,
That,
what I heard. All right.
everybody? Okay, all right. All right, moving right along. Next topic on the agenda is, the National League of Cities. There's a request to go to the National League of Cities Conference in, Washington in March. Now, this is slightly different because, it doesn't count towards the ALM state certification for training. And obviously it's in Washington DC, and so there's definitely elevated costs. We have not, until we have interest, we've not estimated that cost yet, because we're gonna have planes, most likely flights, hotel, and, additional costs to go with this. So I just need a show of interest by everybody who's interested in going, because this one, it might actually be a really good conference to meet with, our representatives in Washington to see about getting, appropriations.
I'm interested in going.
Okay.
So,
Okay, I am as well. Anybody else? And this conference just is, it's March 16th to 18th. All right, so just 3?
I'm interested as well.
Okay, so 4, Mayor Pro Tem Ray, Councilwoman Bell, and Councilwoman Davis and myself. We'll get the quotes and present those. All right, moving right along. So set speed bumps on the agenda, but we're discussing speed tables. Mr. Barker, would you like to speak to it, or would you like me to cover it?
You can cover it if you don't mind.
Okay, so we've been looking at different options for speed bumps, and we basically, it's about $600 or so for just our basic plastic 3-inch speed bump. And so we looked into some options with our asphalt contractor, and they're able to put in a larger speed table, is I think the proper name for it, where they're several feet wide and 3 to 4 inches high. And it's about, ranges from $1,000 to $1,200 or so for each one, depending on how many we order at a time, and how closely they're located together. So there's two spots already in Hunter's Crossing where we're gonna have to do road patching, that these would actually fill that need. And so one of them, we have a quote that the council just got, it's for 10 of these speed tables, we could do it for less than the cost of one of those patches, and it would actually cover that one patch. And so, as a council, I'd like us to figure out where we would like 9 more, if that's the route we would choose to go. And I think it's going to be a great opportunity to control speed, and we just have to, determine where we want them and check the legality to make sure on some main thoroughfares that it's, I guess, legal. You might have any questions, concerns, or thoughts? Yes, sir.
One thing that we had discussed before, on the engineering side, I would just recommend that those are marked properly with the warning
Yes.
signs. We want the city to be in a defensible position of having it clear where those speed tables may be installed. And I believe as you go to a table that it is required that it be marked with paint. But I'll check that with the manual uniform traffic control, and I can report back to you on that. I would just caution you to make sure we do it in a way that it is proper and it's marked properly.
Absolutely. Any more questions or concerns? All right, moving right along. So the towing fee and accident report fees, the documentation there is pretty straightforward, and the fees were presented at the last council meeting, so just wanted to bring it back up, see if there's any questions, concerns, or issues there. Okay, if there are no questions or concerns, we'll adjourn the work session and move directly into our regular council meeting. So this concludes our work session, and we'll move right into the council meeting. So I hereby call this regular meeting of the City of Margaret to order. Mr. Barker, would you open some prayer?
Father, come before you again tonight, just thank you and pray for who you are. We thank the blessing we received David. Continue to pray for our nation, our city, pray for our president, this mayor and council, pray for unity, and pray that you'll lead us and direct you and how us to go. For us in Christ's name, amen.
Pledge allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Chapman?
Here.
Councilperson Bell? Councilperson McIntyre?
Here.
Councilperson Davis?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ray?
Here.
Mayor Teresi?
Here. All right. First item on the agenda is the mutual aid agreement with the Odenville Fire Department. Both councilors has an agreement, and is there a motion to move forward with this agreement?
I'll make a motion, move forward.
Councilwoman Davis makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Chapman seconds. All right, roll call vote.
Councilperson Chapman?
Yeah.
Councilperson Bell?
Yes.
Councilperson McIntyre?
Yes.
Councilperson Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ray?
Yes.
Mayor Teresi?
Yes. All right, next item on the agenda is the Odenville Chamber of Commerce. I'm looking for a motion on contributing to and becoming a member of the Greater Odenville Area Chamber of Commerce. Do I have a motion?
What's the other municipalities? You said, what are they giving?
Odenville contributes $1,500 from what the board members told me.
What price tag are we?
I would think the $500 would be fair for our participation, and that would give us the option to attend each meeting, and usually lunch and a good listen. Oftentimes, a lot of the county people come. It's kind of like a fire association meeting or a police chief's meeting or even a mayor's association meeting. They have speakers that come from all over the county, sometimes the state, to educate the group on local opportunities.
I was a member, it just kind of fell by the wayside, but I'll make a motion we join join the Oklahoma Chamber of Commerce for $500 price tag.
Okay, Councilman Chapman makes a motion that we join the Odenville Chamber of Commerce for $500, and Councilwoman Davis seconds it. Roll call.
Councilperson Chapman?
Yeah.
Councilperson Bell?
Yes.
Councilperson McIntyre?
Yes.
Councilperson Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ray?
Yes.
Mayor Florisi?
Yes. All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the St. Clair County Educational Foundation Gala. And so we need a motion on participation and sponsorship level.
Make a motion, we spend $1,500.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I've checked with several other municipalities, they've done the same thing.
All right.
So,
Mayor Pro Tem Ray made a motion to sponsor up to $1,500, or sponsor $1,500 for the gala. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Councilman Chapman seconds the motion. Roll call vote.
Councilperson Chapman?
Yeah.
Councilperson Bell?
Yes.
Councilperson McIntyre?
yes.
Councilperson Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ray?
Yep.
Mayor Florisi?
Yes. All right, moving right along, we got the donation to the elementary school for the smart boards. So looking for a motion about the number of smart boards to donate to the elementary school.
We've got the number of boards and the total cost,
So-
correct?
The total cost is $13,125, and $3,000 of that coming out of my budget line item, and $10,000 from the education support line item.
I'll make a motion to purchase those boards.
Second.
Okay, so Councilman Chapman made the motion to purchase 7 smart boards for the elementary school, with the $3,000 coming from the community support line item, and the remainder coming from the education line item. And Councilwoman Davis seconded the motion. Roll call.
Councilperson Chapman?
Yeah.
Councilperson Bell?
Yes.
Councilperson McIntyre?
Yes.
Councilperson Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ray?
Yes.
Mayor Florisi?
Yes. All right, next item on the agenda is the Public Works Vehicles and Trailer. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to table it, so we can find out exactly what all vehicles and stuff has been ordered by the city. We've been asking you for a month, and you still haven't provided it. So, until you can provide us that, and we can make a better financial decision.
Calling you to order, please.
Say again?
Calling you to order.
Call to order from what?
It's not on the topic of that's not on the topic of the motion.
Okay.
All right, we have a motion to table it. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Mayor Pro Tem Ray makes a motion to table, with an unclear date, and then Carrie, Councilman McIntyre seconds. Roll call vote.
Councilperson Chapman?
Yeah.
Councilperson Bell?
Yes.
Councilperson McIntyre?
Yes.
Councilperson Davis?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Ray?
Yes.
Mayor Florisi?
No. All right, moving right on, we have the Alabama League of Municipalities Annual Conference. Do we have a motion to attend?
I'll make a motion to, whoever wants to go, go.
Councilman Chapman made a motion to approve attendance to the conference. Have a second?
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem Ray seconded. Roll call vote.
Councilperson Chapman?
Yes.
Councilperson Bell?
Yes.
Councilperson McIntyre?
Yes.
Councilperson Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ray?
Yes.
Mayor Florisi?
Yes. All right, moving right along, we have the National League of Cities. Next, this item concerns basically, we're gonna have to sign up for membership and pay to travel because we're not currently members. So I'm looking for 2 different motions, one to become members of the National League of Cities, and a second to send 4 members of the council to the conference. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
All right, Councilwoman Bell makes a motion on,
On both.
okay, well, Councilwoman Bell made a motion for both. We'll cover the membership. So do we have a second on the membership?
A second.
All right, Councilwoman Davis seconds the motion. Roll call vote on becoming members of the National League of Cities.
Councilperson Chapman?
No.
Councilperson Bell?
Yes.
Councilperson McIntyre?
No.
Councilperson Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ray?
Yeah.
Mayor Twillies?
So that's a 4-2 vote in favor of. Now we'll address the second motion made by Councilwoman Bell to send 4 members of the council to the conference in Washington DC. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Davis seconds. Roll call vote.
Councilperson Chapman?
No.
Councilperson Bell?
Yes.
Councilperson McIntyre?
No.
Councilperson Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ray?
Yes.
Mayor Twillies?
Yes. Okay, moving right along. We've got the speed tables. So, council should have the quote for the 10 speed tables at, I believe it's 15. Do we, do we want to make a motion to move forward and choose locations, or do we want to discuss locations and then make a motion?
Did you say that we've got one that's got a bad spot already?
Two,
That's got bad spots?
yes, there are
And
two
And we can
locations.
just put the speed
Oh, yes,
tables there rather than fix?
that's correct. We can get 10 of these speed tables for the less than the price of one of those road repairs. And it will cover two spots, not just the one.
You have the documentation for where those locations are at?
That's what the conversation, well, those locations, one is on Parkwood Drive and one is on Hunter's Crossing.
The one on Parkwood Drive is actually in front of someone's residence and their personal driveway. That'd be a great place for it, wouldn't it?
It's a good
You wanna
compromise.
tell the rest of the city whose driveway that's in front of?
Okay, wait a minute, we got Parkwood driving to work.
Yeah, I didn't think you did.
Hunter's Crossing, or,
Okay, now, go ahead now.
Oh, I was just asking the mayor if he wanted to notify us exactly whose driveway that was in front of.
it's past your driveway.
Oh, no, it's actually right in the middle of my driveway. Yeah. Yeah. You was gonna leave that part out though, wouldn't you?
I'm calling to order.
You can call me all you want, it don't matter.
This is the last warning. If you act out
Are you
again.
gonna have me
you're
removed?
Yes, I'm gonna have you removed
Oh,
if you
okay.
act out again.
Okay.
Are you gonna come to order? All right, looking for a motion.
I make a motion to table to July 1st.
Mayor Pro Tem Ray made a motion to table until July 1st. Do you have a second?
Okay. We'll figure out what you're gonna do about this driveway.
You second it, James?
Yeah, we can figure out what we're gonna do with this driveway.
Okay, Councilman.
Hold it now. Can we table one of them? Can we just table the Parkwood Drive?
That
And move
would
on.
have to modify the original
Move
motion.
on
Yeah,
with some of this other stuff.
we just have to modify the motion to table.
Okay, well,
But I mean, it's, the quote we have is for 10, and so, perfectly fine to, ideally we'd table it until we come up with the locations and then, and decide on the locations. But we have the number in front of us, and it's a good,
but I mean, do we have to buy 10?
the more you buy, the better the price is, and the 10 is basically underneath the price of what it would have cost to patch that road. And so,
Hold it now. So, 10 of them is the cost of the one patch.
that's right. Yep, it's a fiscally responsible choice.
Okay. Did I make a how I need to do this to make a motion to
Well, the
table
original,
Parkwood
no.
Drive?
The original motion has some, request a modification to
Okay.
this motion. Original motion on the table is to table until July 1st, and we need to actually roll back your second, and then, or have a motion to modify the original motion. To table. Or do we have a motion to amend the original motion to table until July 1st?
Yeah,
I'll
I make
turn-
a motion to amend.
Sorry. Well, no, yeah, that's fine, actually. Okay. Councilman Chapman makes a motion to amend. What's your amendment?
To purchase the speed bumps and hold off on Parkwood Drive till we figure what to do on that right there. Because if it's in somebody's driveway, I mean, that's not gonna be a good thing.
Okay.
So,
Let me think about that for just a second. With a motion to amend, handle the motion to amend and then circle back to the, motion to amend passes, we're good. All right, do we have a second to the motion to amend? The motion to amend is to, move forward with the purchase of the, speed tables and then circle back to Parkwood Drive in another, the next meeting. Second? All right, I'll second that motion to amend. Roll call vote?
Councilperson Chapman?
yeah.
Councilperson Bell?
Yes.
Councilperson McIntyre?
Yeah.
Councilperson Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ray?
Yeah.
Mayor Torrisi?
Yes. All right, motion passes. All right, moving right along. Our next item on the agenda is to increase the towing fees and, to $100 and the accident report fee to $10. Or I guess we should say the police report fee to $10. All right, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
All right, Councilwoman Davis makes a motion, for the increase. Do we have a second?
I second.
Councilwoman Bell seconds the motion. Roll call vote?
Councilperson Chapman?
No,
Councilperson Bell?
Yes.
Councilperson McIntyre?
Yeah.
Councilperson Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ray?
Yeah.
Mayor Torrisi?
Yes. All right, moving right along, we're gonna move to department reports and, start with the, engineer.
Yes, sir. The most pressing items that we have, is still on the, water side. We had some, productive meetings with, our consultant and with your new manager. He did have some good ideas that he wanted us to explore, so we're working hard on updating the water model and maybe coming up with a few different ideas that he had, that have a lot of promise, that we think is gonna be a smarter choice, so we're working on that. We're also working on some mapping. We've had some water leaks that have been hard to control, so we're gonna try to get a better handle and probably install some valves to help with isolation and get some of those things fixed. Still right on track with where we are. Any questions on the water, or you want me to do one at a time, Mayor, or how would you like me to present?
One at a time and take questions.
Sure, happy to.
Any questions about the water system? Okay, moving right along.
Okay. Secondly, I think the second most pressing was the Old Acton Road, the state of that bad curve, and we've talked a lot about how it's substandard and it's not safe. So we've come up with some plans, to kind of realign the Old Acton Road. We have a deadline of February 20th to apply for some grants from the state of Alabama. We would like to go ahead and get those in under the deadline. Certainly, if we can get some help from those state agencies, it's a good thing. We feel like we've come up with a pretty good plan, and would like the permission to go ahead and submit a grant. It's, once we do that, we have a good chance, I think, of getting, we need some letters of recommendation, and we might ask from, some internal letters from the fire and, police force to talk about the safety issues there, and I think that would go a long way to making our grant application look good. So we're ready to go on that. We'll put those letters with it, and we'll get those.
what is this plan?
Sir?
What is your plan?
It would actually take the geometric plan straight across the railroad tracks, and we would go outside of the old road and create a new road.
And we were gonna do that 4 years ago. What happened with that?
We can't speak to that. I mean, I've not seen any proof that there was anything action taken in that regard. The county nor anybody knew anything about that other than comments that were made during council.
I mean, the only thing I recall is we were gonna resurface. That was
Well,
pushed.
I just know that it was, that conversation, we had that conversation.
We did.
So,
I mean, and again, as we discussed, the road section is really poor there. Where they put those, utilities in on the left side of the road has made that worse, which is what's really contributing to the way the road is and the potholes that have been so much of a trouble. Resurfacing the road would be a short-term fix at a high cost, so certainly we're trying to find you a way to fix the thing.
Yeah, have we talked to the property owners?
We have preliminarily, and we've come up with a plan that benefits them as well, so, we feel like it's got good promise.
Are they on board with this, or?
I'll stop short of saying they've agreed to everything, but they have not, I mean, they've given us positive feedback.
The plan has got the option to go that way or to repair the road as it sits with some slight modifications, but this is our ideal plan. But if we get the funds, we could handle either way. So this is what we want, but if we get the funds, we can repair the road.
Correct, and the biggest hurdle too is that drainage. If we can get that drainage fixed, then the roadway will hold up for you. But it doesn't seem to me to make good sense to repair that road at a high cost and it not be fixed properly. So that's what we've been trying to come up with that plan for you. Okay, let's see, next on the agenda, we had, some layouts for a possible fire hall at Brookhaven. I know that's been talked about some, so we've come up with some concept sketches that I think are of a state where you can get some budgeting numbers and kind of start figuring out what something like that might cost. So we have a plan, we have some elevation views just to show you a good concept there. And we also have located it on the property so that it might show what they are.
Come to the mic. If speaking to the mic, some of the crowd can't hear.
And I actually brought a few of those sketches if anybody would like to see it.
Any questions or concerns?
This would go on the property at the entrance to Brookhaven?
That's where we have it located now, yes, but certainly that was the size that, I think they were shooting for, and that certainly gives you a starting point. If you get some budget numbers, you can adjust from there.
No, we don't actually own that property, correct?
That's correct.
How much is that property gonna cost the city?
We're gonna begin the negotiations, but, imagine property value is gonna be the same as any property.
So undisclosed, unclassified, we don't know. We don't even know if they sell it, is what you're saying?
No, I've got a preliminary agreement to sell it, and if we show them a plan that they're, on board with, then this is a good plan.
I don't know what you consider a good plan, but here's 3 bays, there's no,
Yeah, where's the sleeping quarters?
there's not any. No sleeping quarters, no nothing.
I believe we've discussed this quite in depth in the past, that there'll be 1 bay used for sleeping quarters until we get the model home that is directly behind that lot in the future. And so, right now you have the bathrooms built in, and then, it would take very little work to actually make that a sleeping quarter, so it's in the plan. But this is the beginning of the plan, this is where we start.
But if they don't sell the property or the house to us, then none of this is even.
Any other questions?
Do we know a price on the house?
The model home?
Model home?
Not yet. They're 3 to 5 years out from selling it, and so when I reach out to them about the lot, I can ask that question. All right. Any other questions? Just reiterate on this topic, not to go too deep, but we've had the conversation with the, St. Clair County Economic Development Council about our grant program, and this is the number one topic on that, grant program for the things that we need to seek funding for. Part of that process was to get our accounting system up to date so that we can do proper reporting, auditing, and tracking, and, the city had had that grant analysis for almost 2 years, and we had not made any motion on that. We were working towards that end, and so everything is one step in front of the other until we can get the final plan and get it approved. So everything is a step in the right direction.
So when do you plan on speaking to the developer, seeing if they're gonna sell this property to us?
If the council's okay with this, I'll reach out to them tomorrow.
There's a lot of excavating, a lot of drainage work's gotta be done too, right there.
I think the lot is fairly good. There is some drains in the front, but I do think you could get it in fairly short order.
And the question comes down to, are we looking for solutions or problems?
Well, I mean, obviously, this is a concept drawing, so the feedback, we can incorporate any of that, but I don't think anybody would even talk with us until we have something on paper. So the purpose was to get that dialogue started, and then we would adjust from there. I mean, we could transport this to a different place if that lot is not available, or, you know, we could do it, but the whole purpose was to get something on paper so that you could get that started.
I mean, it don't cost nothing to ask somebody
Yeah.
how much they want for it, does it?
They wanted to see what it would look like, and so they know if it affects the value of their homes.
Well, there you go.
All right.
That's your picture.
All right, anybody got any concerns for me moving forward with asking them that? All right. Any other questions on this? All right, next up. Scott? Okay. All right, we'll move right along to, go ahead, while we're talking about fire departments.
What about the park up there?
The pavilion.
Oh, so they have all their rough ends done. I was there today. I think their date to try to do it was March 1st to be finished with everything.
Well, man, I just gonna be honest, that's not at all what I was expecting out of it. I mean, just, you know, I thought we talked that was gonna be like a copy of what Odell has for their pavilion. That's what I thought we had talked about.
Well, it matches the blueprints. Unfortunately, it's very basic, but it's exactly like what the blueprints we were
I
presenting.
mean,
It was a very rushed project, and so, but for that,
but you know, I mean, I sure don't see $250,000 worth there.
Mr. James, are you talking about the blue
All
one?
right.
The blue pavilion?
no, no.
That one that's on the,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, you know, it looked like you could probably get out of the sun up under that thing, but you couldn't get out of the rain.
Well, Councilman Ray asked me to check on a skirt that would go around the top, and then you know, again, that's what they directed us to do, so we certainly tried to do it.
They give it like partial shade.
I mean, I sure would like to see justification for that kind of money, I swear. That's a lot of money for a lean-to.
That was what was presented and what was passed. All right, any other questions for the engineer?
I haven't seen it. Is there any way I can get a copy of the blueprint?
All right, we'll move on to the fire department. Okay.
Hey, with the new staff that we've hired, we are currently looking at getting more uniforms and particularly PPE for the new guys. We have about half the amount we need at the moment. We are making do and staying safe with our PPE, but definitely need about again half the staff new PPE. That's the turnout gear and the helmets and stuff. It's a good problem to have, but it is something we're working on. We have a representative come do some fittings this coming week, and then we're reaching out to some companies to get prices on the gear we're currently using to make sure that we are getting our guys lined up with good equipment. We also will be meeting next week with our volunteer list. We have a bunch of new volunteer applicants that are excited about serving the community. So we're going to put together a volunteer development plan with Dwayne. We've nicknamed him Papa Bear. He's been here in the fire department here for a long time. If you've called 911, he's probably come to your house. He's a good man. He and I are working together to develop a progression plan for our volunteers so that we not only have people, but we have people that have a purpose and a job to serve the community. That's where we're at now, and I've informed you of the ALS stuff. I plan to go live April 1st, and I'm excited about the direction of the fire department.
Speak to the promotions in the department.
We've promoted, so far, I promoted Josh Davis to captain. He's on days with me. He has an incredible amount of experience in fire service. His knowledge on purchasing vehicles has already been helpful, looking at other apparatuses, getting repairs done, setting up some preventative maintenance on our fleet. He's also been the point of contact on our updating, the much needed update of Station 1 and the repairs of Station 2 that were needed. We've promoted Ryan McQueen to lieutenant on B shift. He, from the day I showed up, he's been calling me 4 or 5 times a day with ideas and things that he wanted to do, and he's working hard to build a good inventory list and medical supplies and things like that, and has really shown leadership in the department. Our A shift lieutenant is Tommy Brown. Tommy's retired from Birmingham. He also works at the airport, but he's probably the most knowledgeable person we have in the department when it comes to fire service. And so I've really used his knowledge, his wisdom when it comes to plans and things like that for fire incidents. And we are looking right now at our C shift to see who organically comes into that leadership role. I don't want to force someone in that spot. I want to see how they look as a unit before I just make the decision. So far, that's the 2 lieutenants, a captain, and me.
One last thing, Brett will be bringing a plan to council here soon about building basically a gym and a workout center for the fire and police, basically in the bay of Station 1 in the meantime. It's something that had been discussed before about the physical fitness of the people who are on shift, and like with this equipment, we can use it for multiple departments, and so we don't have it yet, we're working on it, so it'll be there soon.
That'd be, the plan for Station 1 right now is that the front area be offices for me and Josh, Captain Davis, and also a EMS training area in the front, and then the second bay in the back part of the building would be like a fitness training area. We could do a lot of different things with that. And then we also have the bay on the side that doesn't currently have an engine in it, but we'll have an engine we get some back from repair. And so that's exciting that we'll have not just a refurbished building, but one that we can utilize for training.
Police department.
Good evening, everyone. Last week I gave you a partial monthly activity report. This is for the whole month of January. Your next report will be in March, and it'll be for February. Some numbers were added for the last part of the week. Calls for service, 155 for this month. 41 reports, 7 accident reports, 415 traffic stops, 238 citations, 185 warnings, 7 felony arrests, 7 misdemeanor, resulted in 21 felony charges and 15 misdemeanors. There was a total of 616 business checks, 493 patrol requests. Also, we have the criminal investigations report. A lot of y'all was emailed this today. As it stands right now, he only has two cases still open. The rest he is closed by incarceration or administratively closed. 21 felony charges year to date, 19 misdemeanor charges. Evidence items submitted year to date is 26. ADF, which is forensics, where we have to take it, is 9. Conducted 2 search warrants. 34 arrests year-to-date. Total cases year-to-date 19, and a total of 17 cases already closed. That's our investigator that we have. Y'all have any questions for me or my captain?
I'd just like to say that the DA has already reached out to the city and spoken very highly of our police department, and our investigation is doing a professional job and making sure that the reports are thorough. The number of felony arrests has been surprising, but they're being handled properly, and we're getting kudos from the county on how they're being managed. Would you like to give an update on the temporary offices?
Captain King, I'll call Captain King up. He's been the backbone on this one a lot. He's done a lot for us.
Yes, sir. So, I don't know if you've driven by, but they've got the groundwork, finished up today. Hopefully they'll be back to pave, maybe tomorrow or some point during this week if weather permits. But, to date, right now, they're looking at the install for February 17th. If we finish the paving before then, I can call them and maybe get moved up, but, looking forward to getting that office space and getting out of the crowded space we're in currently.
Any questions, anybody? All right, thank you. Mr. Barker, do you have anything?
I just have the monthly report. Each one of y'all got a handout. Is there any questions about it?
I can say, do you might need any help?
Pardon?
You might need any help?
No, we got it right there.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Barker? All right. Todd, would you like to?
We've been working with the engineer, working on solutions for the water problems. We did get sent an email last Friday about some of the meter reading equipment that we have being out of date. So I started today. That will be a quote that I'll have to get together and present to y'all, and it probably not gonna be cheap. But other than that, we're just fixing leaks, patching roads, cutting trees, trying to keep the city going.
I would like to add, building on our conversation, and I'm glad to keep this here, just make sure. Essentially, we have a major project in front of us and on 3 different fronts. I mean, we've got the sewer upgrade that is in the planning, water tower plant that's going on, and that comes to do with the water plant. Is it necessary right now, or do we have some breathing room to go after appropriations? But third, we basically have an aging system that has not been maintained properly for years. So think of a car that hadn't had its oil changed in 5 or 6 years, and there's a lot of maintenance that's going to need to be done over the next year or two to get the system up to par, basically. And but luckily, that's why we have the tap fees and the money in those accounts for those projects. But I just want to let people know that this is not just, well, we're servicing water in the community. We have major projects going on in that department, and
several sewer lift stations that are deteriorating.
Yep. We're about to start the negotiations with Odenville for our water franchise agreement, and all of this ties into that very closely. Any questions for Todd or his department? Just want everyone to bear in mind that we've added 4 new positions and another department head, and we need to start thinking about the equipment they need to be able to do the job when they're here.
We had another department head.
Yeah, and the 12/31, we posted the Public Works Director, and so we're waiting on that. We've just wrapped up the open application period, and I'm going to speak to that in a minute. All right, any other questions for Todd? All right. Yeah. All right, with that, we're gonna move into public comment, and we got a couple people on here tonight. We'll start with Logan. Logan, would you like to come up and?
My name is Logan. I own Grassroots Lawn Service. Some of you may know me, some may not. I live in Brookhaven, and when I took over the contract for that subdivision, it was obviously in a lot of disarray. It was really, really bad. So we've gotten it on the right path. My concern right now is speeding. the other day I had one of my workers almost get ran over and killed. I know Officer King and Chief Walton has done a good job of patrolling, but at the end of the day, when a car runs by us running 50, 60 miles an hour, and my guys are on the side, you know, we've done everything possible to get our guys on the side of the road, out of the way. When we were doing the Pine Straw a couple weeks ago, one of my guys, it was almost his last day, and that should never happen. Not in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. I don't know if speed tablers are going to work. I don't care if you put them every 5 feet. Maybe some stop signs or something. I don't know what it looks like, but it's got to stop. You know, we can't do our job and provide our customers with a service that they're used to, and risk one of my guys getting ran over and killed. You know, today was at the clubhouse putting lights up. Lady ran right off the road, right in front of the clubhouse. You know, when she swerved back, dirt flies up. You shouldn't have that. So I know we have cameras in there, so I'm gonna work with our HOA president and members to see if we can't figure out something with the tags for speeding. I know, you know, everybody speeds in there. I know my wife's probably guilty of it, but you know, we've got to get it under control. It's a safety concern. One of my customers' mailbox is literally hanging by one screw right now that I have to fix. That, you know, is it a cost to the customer or is it a cost to me? You know, who eats that cost? Down on Hunter's Cove, you've got Americana and Hunter's Cove. We cut one of the yards right across. Stop sign right there is needed. Since they paved Brookhaven, it's become an absolute speedway, and it needs to be fixed. I'm not asking. I'm begging. You know, we shouldn't risk somebody getting hurt and ran over because somebody won't slow down. You know, and I know you two live in there. You see it. You know, and I would ask the police officers. You know, they've done a great job of sitting and watching. The other day we saw 5 people get pulled over in Brookhaven for running the stop sign at Americana and Brookhaven Drive. But I think something else needs to be done. I mean, it's a real concern. My truck has been hit with rocks because people literally run off the road, haul and tail. So that's all I got.
With like all things, change is going to take a little bit of time, but we're seeing that, and we're seeing the outcries of that, and so we'll take that into consideration. Appreciate that.
Sure.
All right, next up, Gary.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. My name is Gary Hammer, reside at 1832 Summit Park Drive, which is District 5, proudly in my hometown of Margaret. I'm going to speak tonight to all 6 members. I stand before you tonight to voice my disgust about the clown show, and it was last week. I thought nobody had any modicum of dysfunction worse than the 535 people that America sends to DC, and yet the 6 of you proved me wrong. What happened? First, I'd like to know what happened to simple respect to your fellow elected officials and to your constituents. Let's peel back that layer of the onion. What can be more important than you spending your time, you know, looking at your phones, on your tablets, than listening to your fellow council members or listening to me? I deserve better. We all deserve better. Put down the phone, close the lid on the laptop, and let's conduct the city's business. It's disrespectful to me, it's disrespectful to these people, it's disrespectful to everybody who watches on TV or YouTube to see that literally we don't care about the constituents, we don't care about the job. We care about what we get to say, we want to have our bully pulpit, and it shouldn't be that way. Second, where's the respect for the office that you've all been ascended to? You know, we can't vote and record in acceptable language, you know, like yes or I or no or nay. People watch on YouTube and then they ask, how did that person vote? Because they, is that a yes or a no? It's a wave of a hand, it's not a vote. It's just something that, either we don't care or we've already checked out 90 days into our term. And, it shouldn't be like that. All of you ran on a platform of reform and a proverbial I can or could do better. Was that our best last week? It wasn't. It was far from it. I'm not here to be a shill for the mayor. I'm here to be a shill for the people of Margaret who deserve better government. Nobody elected you to be a rubber stamp for the mayor, and I get it. You can exercise independent thought and you can dissent, but you can do it politely. The last thing I'd like to say is, we're 90 days in. If this is what we're gonna get for the next 1,370 days, I'd ask maybe you reevaluate your commitment. Come back in 2 weeks, either ready to work and do our business or resign. We held an election a couple of months ago. We can gladly hold another one. In closing, I'd suggest, maybe instead of flying to Washington, D.C., rent a minivan. The 10.5 hours and the 731 miles, you guys maybe learn to respect each other and learn to work together. Thank you.
Michael Lonergan? Michael, are you here? Yes. Oh.
I'm Michael Lonergan from District 3. And first I want to open with thanking you all for stepping forward. I know this is a thankless job, and I know you're all frustrated. Still, the last election was a change election. We are 90 days, from that. And like Gary, I really question the decorum that's going on on the council. I don't expect you guys to all agree with each other. In fact, I think some healthy debate would be good. But we're not really seeing that. It saddens me that, on social media, there's a whole bunch of really funny memes. They're funny, but, I didn't really elect you guys for a clown show. I just want to remind everybody that as you guys ran the first time, offering yourself, speaking out for change, the next time you won't be, speaking out for change. You'll have to run on what you accomplished. And I would encourage you to think about what you can do to move your programs forward. You all were elected with something you wanted to accomplish. I just want you to think about what would be the best way for you to do that. And once you think about that, remember that, at the next election, that's the platform that you're going to run on. This is what I accomplished. This is why I wanted to be a councilman or a mayor. And this is why you should reelect me. Like I said, we're early in our thing. I would encourage all of y'all to go back and look at the last couple of city council meetings. And if you're okay with the way you're coming across, that's great. If you're not, this is a call for change. Thank you for your consideration.
So, Ms. Pettis, is Ms. Pettis here?
Okay, so good evening. My name is Keandra Pettis, and I'm a resident of Margaret. I'm here today because I'm concerned about how our tax dollars are being used and how policing is showing up in our community. In a small town like ours, residents should feel protected, not harassed. On January the 29th, 2026, officer beat down my door as if I was a convicted convict. The thing was, my son's car was parked in front of my house, but he was in college and he had the key. I told the officers that, but they didn't want to hear it. Pretty much my car will be towed tomorrow. I have a child that has autism, sent her in a frenzy. 2 hours I had to calm her down because the way they beat on my door. This type of heavy police presence, especially over minor, non-emergency issues, impacts African Americans residents and create fear instead of trust. I want to ask the council, are our tax dollars best spent on aggressive enforcement, or should they be invested in things our community truly needs? Like a grocery store so our family can access healthy food and safe parks where our children can play and thrive. We deserve transparency, fairness, and investments that uplifts this community. I'm asking the city to reassess its priority and work with residents and not against us.
Ms. Bates, would you, care to come sit down and review the body cam footage of the incident?
And I will, because you're on my property, and at the end of the day, you guys just put this ordinance into place, and then you don't give me any notice. I'm a working class citizen, and I have to have time to go get the key from Tuscaloosa. My son goes to the University of Alabama, and so I can't just go the next day and go get a key. You have to give me timely manner. And your body footage shows how they banged on my door. Anybody would have been pissed off. Anybody.
It does, and, but also Officer Jackson came and visited you a few days before
And I
that.
told her the same thing. So why send someone out again throughout the weekday and not give me over the weekend to go and get that key?
The officers respond to, community complaints and people calling in. There's no excessive force, but I mean, I'll be glad to sit down and review the video with you.
And we can, and I appreciate the harassment. I pay my tax. If I couldn't afford to purchase that house, I wouldn't be in there. I pay my taxes, and what I'm asking is, it's heavy police presence now, but it's no grocery store. I have to take my money to Trustful, Springville, and the money should reside here in Margaret. It's things that need to be done. So instead of saying, let's build another fire department, which I don't know how many fires are here, how about let's get grocery stores where we can go and get foods for our family and we don't have to drive 20 and 30 minutes to go to a store. So let's assess how we're spending taxpayer dollars again and not this heavy police presence that's not needed. Half of the time they're just on the street waiting to harass people in our neighborhoods ready to harass.
We are working on a grocery store, so thank you for your time. All right, with that, we'll move on to, the council comments. Starting with District 1.
Skip me for this right now.
You want to come back at the end, or?
Yeah.
All right, District 2. No comments? District 3.
I noticed, the last council meeting, we talked about the trash. I noticed on Old Acton and South Hillcrest, it's full of trash. I spoke with the litter control with St. Clair County, and they've complained about people speeding, like when the inmates are out picking up trash. They're to the point that they're wanting to ask that one of the officers come out and escort them as they go around to pick up trash, because our roads are filthy.
Yeah, no, that's, they've been out a couple times lately now. I think that's a good partnership with the sheriff's department, but don't they have the sheriff's officer with them, but?
Correct, but it doesn't stop speeding. I mean, they can't get out and go chase these people when they're out here policing inmates.
Chief Walton, if you could, reach out to the sheriff's department. All right, we'll address that. Anything else?
That's it, thank you.
All right, District 4.
I just wanted to touch base real quick regarding the fire station. And I agree, we need a grocery store. That is something that we have talked about. There has been a lot of pushback from citizens from that. They say they don't want those sorts of things. But I mean, a lot of citizens say we want to stay small, but unfortunately, Margaret's not small anymore. It's not gonna stay small. I venture to guess in a year or two, we're gonna be probably at 10,000 citizens. And when it's here, you have to adjust for what's here. So like you're saying, we do hear you. We have, all talked about at some point a grocery store, something else to bring here. But I just want to touch on the fire station while, to understand it is that we talk about response times. Right now where we are, say your house catches on fire, and again, I'm not sure your address, but say your house catches fire. They have to come from a station that could be 20 minutes away from you. So your home could be a total loss and everything in it. Could be loss of life, property. That's not something you want. That's not something any of us want. So we need this to cut down on that response time, and also with that, it makes our insurance rates for our homeowners go down. So it saves you a little bit that way because we have an ISO rating. So with everything, you know, in consideration, the fire station is needed for multiple reasons, but I do understand where you're coming from as a grocery store is concerned, and other things of that nature. So please know that regardless, we're all gonna discuss that, you know, and help to move us forward to that, place. So thank you for that.
Okay, District 5?
Yes, Mayor, we've all been in email concordance, asking several questions, and you've reiterated to that email concordance, that you could not answer through email, documentation, that it had to be answered tonight or through public forum. So my question is, once again, do we know exactly the vehicles that have been ordered? And I sent you an email asking, you sent an email to everyone about some updated numbers, so on and so forth, but there was a number missing from where we bought a truck out from the Odenville Ford dealership. And you said that you would get that information to us, and that still hasn't been received at all.
So I have gathered the information, but you're misconstruing some facts. I said we can't deliberate over email. I didn't say couldn't answer questions.
Well, you still haven't answered the questions, so I'm guessing that's what that meant.
So I've got the data. We'll get it to you. I do believe the check for the truck was in the report that was given.
It wasn't, it was blank,
What was blank? The transaction?
the transaction.
Then if the transaction was blank, then how
When I
do you
sent
know
you
it
the
was
email asking for the information, you said you would, if we had questions, to get it to you, and you would try to get it back before the council meeting tonight, which garnished no response.
I have to go back and check that email, but I don't recall you asking that specific question, but.
Did anybody else get that email?
We'll go back and check it.
I mean, there was like 17 emails that were sent back and forth. My second question is, we spent $15,000 on locks for the buildings, and they're still not activated?
Well, the locksmith has been contacted to come back and make 2 repairs and complete the setup.
Okay, that's the same response you gave us about a month ago, so we'll just document that response moving forward. One other question, the vehicles that were surplused at, you said that the fire truck down there at Station 1, so on and so forth, what's the deal and the status on all those vehicles?
Well, when you reached out to me and said you had a friend that wanted to buy it cheap, I've decided not to surplus that vehicle for the time being.
You said it was gonna take closed bids, and just, us and the gentleman said.
Excuse me. No, the motion was to surplus the vehicles, and no details about how they would be surplus would be given. The attorney has clarified that you have to keep a vehicle on GovBids. You cannot private list it. That was a suggestion I believe you made, and the attorney says that it's not the case.
Yeah, the process is, if it doesn't sell on Gov deals, then you relist it, and because that would likely mean the reserve was too high, and you deliver the reserve.
So the ones that haven't even been listed on GovDeals, what's the explanation there? We're going on 60 days currently, so I'm just trying to get people, let them know what avenue to take.
It's the city's decision on whether to sell them or not.
Okay. All right. So, do you have any information about all the vehicles that have been ordered and how much they are and?
Well, I believe you're the one who participated in the majority of them, and even without my communication with me until the approval of the final amount. But I will get those quotes. I've gathered the quotes from the department heads, and I will deliver those via email as soon as I put them together.
Okay. At this time, if you would let the records reflect, I'll be handing out an ordinance for all the council to look over. This would be pursuant to Alabama Code 114356. And this would be, currently, we don't know what's been spent. We don't know what's been spent out of the city budget or whatever, so this would be, if you'll pass those down, make sure everyone gets one. Mr. Irwin, would you like to get one as well? Here's you one. You got 3 copies there?
Nope.
It's right there. So this ordinance basically is, the city council will possess exclusive authority over the management and control of municipal finances and property. This basically states that, no purchase contract, agreement, lease purchase, financing arrangement, or obligation exceeding $1,500 shall be made, negotiated, executed, or implied without prior city council approval, granted by recording vote before any commitment is made. In case of emergency, the mayor would have 48 hours to notify us of said emergency, and it would be up to the council to approve that emergency before the money can be spent moving forward. We've been in office since November, and there's no reason in February we cannot explain what money's been spent and what money has not been adhered to. This is taxpayer money. We all ran on transparency, and we all should have it. We all should know what's going on. So, for the consideration of tonight's meeting, if you'll let the records reflect that such information, and then we can vote on this ordinance at the next meeting.
So, okay, who put this together?
Oh, I did.
You wrote this?
Actually, the city attorney put one together.
Oh, city attorney put one together? Who requested that?
Who requested?
Yeah,
Oh, the council.
The council? Oh, it wasn't the council?
Yep.
So you're openly admitting you violated the Open Meetings Act?
How did I openly violate the Open Meetings Act?
You just said the council made a decision and ordered something outside their authority for the city attorney.
It's actually, the council's the one who controls the purse strings anyway, so it's not outside their authority.
Outside of a public meeting, you've just directly admitted to violating the Open Meetings Act.
How's anybody violate the Open Meetings Act?
You just stated that these other council members collaborated with you outside of council.
You didn't ask that.
No, you answered that.
Okay, your assumptions is what you're putting out there.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Point of privilege. You made the accusation.
There was I didn't make no accusation. You're making an accusation.
All right, I'm gonna end this now.
It's just for consideration. We'll be able to vote on it at the next council meeting.
Just wanna be clear that you ordered the expenditure of taxpayer funds outside of a council meeting without, any communication or authority.
Communication or authority for what? The city attorney works for the whole city, which includes us, which we're part of the governing body.
Outside of a public forum, you don't have the authority to make a demand or issue, the expenditure of city funds, taxpayer funds.
No, nobody's done that.
I believe you just admitted that you did.
I believe you haven't admitted what you have done.
I believe.
So if that's what we want to get to.
Did the members of council receive financial reports for every transaction up until, last Friday? Is that it? Everybody, council? Yes? Okay, so would you like to retract this statement?
No.
Okay.
Is there a check
Moving on.
that was paid to
Moving-
J.D. Ryder Ford in Oakville, Alabama?
You're out of order.
I'm not out of order. I still have the floor.
No, you
I
don't
still
have the floor. I
Because
am the
District
chair.
5 had the floor. I still have the floor. I didn't
If you
give the
do
floor
not-
back to you.
no, I am the chair.
It don't matter. I still have the floor.
If you do
You
not,
asked
if you
for
do not-
council
if you do not
comments.
come
I've
to
got the
order,
floor.
I'm gonna have you removed.
We can have me removed if you want to. I've still got the floor. It doesn't
Come to
matter.
order now. Sergeant at Arms, please remove Councilman Ray from the meeting.
I've still got the floor.
You do not have the floor.
You
The
asked for
chair-
council comments. It's District 5,
No.
which is me.
The chair called you to order and you refused the order.
I'm not leaving, so throw me out.
Well, the Sergeant at Arms will have you removed.
That's fine. I'm not leaving, so.
All right, Sergeant at Arms, please escort Councilman Ray out.
I ain't getting up. It's funny when you start talking about things about you can't handle it.
I was gonna end this conversation. I have no idea what we're talking about.
If I may.
I'm not getting up.
With this,
No. Still have I'm next.
with this, I do think that there's an inherent tension because funds were appropriated in the budget, and once funds were appropriated in the budget, there's,
Order in the chambers.
they're a course of action at this point would be to request an attorney general's opinion for the legality of an ordinance of this type.
Well, the legality of the ordinance of that type
Well,
is actually, half of that came from the League of Municipalities, so, I mean, you know,
well, when a city appropriates money through an approved budget, that money for each line item is expended at the discretion of the mayor.
actually, it's not.
When it's been appropriated for a specific purpose.
There's also state laws that have to be followed with that as well, though.
I understand that, and if the competitive bid law is complied with, those expenditures can be made.
So,
All right, sorry, please proceed.
I'm not getting up.
I make a motion, we adjourn this meeting. Do I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Roll call vote. Adjournment, yes.
Councilperson Bell?
Yes.
Councilperson McIntyre?
Yes.
Councilperson Davis? Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Reed?
Yes.
Mayor Clarice?
No.
Johnson, Johnson.